Hi, we are back again, Esther and Rajesh, and today we have a new subject on stress that is related to chronic pain, like back pain, shoulder pain.
Exactly. Welcome. And I'm sure that you have stress in your life. Unless you live on a mountaintop and you're meditating 24 hours a day, you probably have stress in your life. Just the act of living, of survival and reproduction is what the basic meaning of life is. We have to have a job or some way to earn our living. We have family, we have relationships, we have cars, payments, finances, probably 100 things that will generate stress in our lives. And I'm sure you would agree with that, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, especially in this rat-raced world where everything goes faster and faster, and sometimes it's really difficult to keep a grip on things. Nevertheless, information on the virus, vaccinations. No, you have so many opinions. It gives so much stress. You know, what is good for me? What is good for somebody else? I do care about the other. It's just giving loads of stress. This all. Then people that have financial problems because of the crisis. That also gives a lot of stress with many people. And at home, you know, many people that have had children working for homeschooling, you don't even want to know how that adds to the stress of somebody's life. That's just horrendous. Enraging. Anyway,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I had a flat tire just last week and I took it in to have it repaired. And I leave my car and like 8 hours later, they call me and they say they can't fix it and I need to replace the tire. And so now I'm out of the pocket because might as well replace all four tires. So what I thought was a small repair job balloons into a big one. And I have so much anxiety just going to the mechanic shop because I'm afraid that when I come back out, they'll upsell me something. And, that created a lot of stress for me. And the worst kind of stress are the ones that you can't do anything about. So, in this case, I was like, well, I need to replace my tires. They're old and I don't want to. That's a big expense. So it's just an example of some stress that's in my life, and I'm sure you'll be able to relate to that.
Yeah, oh yeah, cars are always a source of stress too, like children, by the way. Now I had something coming up and I went out of my mind. Oh yeah, mortality.
Uh-huh.
My parents, both of my parents are 80 years old. And my mom always says, I'm in front of the forest where they cut the trees. And mortality is also something that is giving a lot of stress with many people because you reduce. You can live healthy, etc. But at one point in time, you get more small issues. When you're getting older, and that's sometimes difficult. When you know that you're in the last stage, you're already grandmother or sometimes over grandmother of grandmother. I mean that must be enraging. It must be difficult and enraging to know that life ends. And how do you feel? How do you feel about that? So I don't know. You have your parents still, Rajesh?
Yes, my parents are doing well, but I did lose some relatives because of COVID, and it also brings to my mind, like my mortality and everyone's mortality and aging, just aging in general, causes a lot of stress. I got my white hairs early, and I was stressed out. Like, oh, how come I'm already turning white, and all kinds of things. I think probably the big industry is trying to get us to look younger. So just aging itself brings a lot of stress in our lives.
I totally agree. This gray hair. I mean, I'm getting gray hairs, and I hate it. I hate it.
What
Every
gray hair?
My kids, I saw my younger son is sometimes, trying to pick them out. Oh, mommy, you're really getting gray. I said, no, I don't want to hear this. It's terrible. Right. Okay, so what else can we have on stress, Burgess? And especially, how does it relate to chronic pain? Because many people will see when they have a lot of stress and issues going on in their life, that often some kind of pain is increasing. So if you have back pain gets worse. You might get some, tensed in your shoulders, and that the shoulder pain is really getting worse, or in the neck. And if the stress is going over and the pain is going over, that is fine. But if the pain persists and you don't know how to get rid of the pain and the stress, then you need a more profound solution to work on that specific stress, right, Bridget?
Yeah, and yeah, that's a great question you asked. Like, sometimes we think of stress as negative things happening in our life, but success is also a generator of stress. Success, in my opinion, brings just as much stress as failure does. So, as let's say you have a client call coming for you, Esther, and I'm sure you're feeling stress, as you're going to meet with the client and help them to get better. There's still a stress involved, even in success. So you may get married, or having a child, or your business suddenly doubling is going to bring stress into your life. And what I want to say is success is just as stressful as failure. So always keep in mind that you might think, hey, I don't have any stress, I'm doing well. But the things that you're doing well in are probably also generating stress, just to keep them going and live up to the expectations of your clients, of your shareholders, whatever else that may be going on in your life.
Yeah, and what we talked about in the previous video too, that the personality traits, some of the really beautiful personality traits like perfectionist, spiritual, do-gooder, controlling, overwhelmed, they are all beautiful traits, because it makes you want to be more successful and be a step ahead, go faster, go further. But that also generates a lot of stress. You can watch that video back if you want to on our channels.
Right.
Okay, that's it for now. For today, Burgess. This was enough.
Yeah, I think I could go on and on and on about things that are bringing stress. So as long as you are open to the possibility that there's a lot of things that are generating stress in your life, and you start noticing them, then actually the stress goes down, because you're allowing yourself to notice all those emotions that are coming up.
Yeah. And especially when you're in pain and you have a lot of stress, a lot of things going on in your life, know that there's a connection. And if you want to know more about it, get in touch, and you can get rid of the stress and get rid of the pain.
Exactly.
Okay, that was it for today. Hope you liked it. See you next
time.
See you soon. Bye-bye.